Hey everybody, happy Monday. This is Meredith Miller from Inner Integration, helping you to self-heal after narcissistic abuse. I'm answering some more questions. This person says, my ex discarded and came back 5 times. He left this last time 2 months ago and immediately started seeing someone. I was a stay-at-home mom and he left me with lots of debt. He did try to hoover me for 2 weeks and I did not fall for it. Once I rejected him, he immediately started parading this girl around and having her stay the night with my kids. He has now moved in with her. I know I have to be done with him, and I've limited contact to only about the kids. I'm trying so hard to move on, but I'm stuck in this depression. It didn't really bother me that he was seeing someone else until he involved my kids so soon. I have extreme anxiety every day. It kills me to think that he was lying, cheating, financially irresponsible manipulator, and now he's off playing house with this new girl and acting like the father of the year. He meets many of the red flags of a narcissist, and I constantly remind myself that he has not changed and will do the same to her. But then I second guess myself and wonder, what if I'm wrong? Maybe he's not a narc and he has now changed for this girl. It's a constant battle that I can't seem to escape. How do I move past the why her and not me feeling after I've stood by him for so many years? Why am I stuck being so depressed and angry while he's living his life like nothing happened? I want nothing more but to see his relationship fail and his life fall apart. Okay, honey, that's why. That's why you're stuck there. Because that energy that you want for him is becoming you. Okay, that wanting to see him fail and his life fall apart, that's your life now. It's like as what you wish on other people, you're wishing on yourself. You're putting that vibration out to the universe, and the universe is responding to you. Not because you deserve it, not because you were bad, but because that's the vibe. That's the vibration that you're putting out, and the universe is responding with exactly that same vibration, right? I know that's really hard to hear, but you are the one holding yourself there. The depression, that's totally understandable after abuse when you internalize the anger, and especially when you turn that anger against yourself, when you're so mad at yourself for staying, for enabling, for putting up with it, for not seeing it, for seeing it and second guessing yourself. There's so many reasons to be angry at ourselves, right? Some people hold that anger. I did another video a few weeks ago on dealing with the anger, and I mentioned some people hold the anger on the exterior, meaning on like under the skin, in the connective tissues, in the muscles. They tend to get tension or inflammation, pain in the body, in the muscles, stiffness, right? And when they get angry, they tend to just like explode the anger. Then there are other people, and both of these can be forms of codependence dealing with anger, right? Then there are people who turn the anger so deeply within that it becomes depression. And then it becomes very difficult to get angry. They just get more and more depressed. And in order to heal that depression, you have to get angry and you have to process the anger. So check out that video that I did on dealing with the anger. That will be helpful. And recognize that, you are internalizing that anger. So you are not helping yourself move on. You're keeping yourself stuck. You're not allowing yourself to heal because you're wishing bad things for him. They say, I think it comes from Buddhism, hatred is drinking poison and hoping that your enemy will die. That's literally what it is. It will eat you instead of them. It will attract to you more negative situations. And then it appears like he's doing fine. And it seems like so unfair that he's doing fine and you're suffering so much after all you gave. And then it even seems on top of it like, what if? What if he's really not? What if he decided to change for her? What if he really is Father of the Year now? Honey, I have heard that so many times. So many times. I've heard that in my own inner dialogue, and I have heard that among almost every one of the clients that I have worked with. I have seen that in so many comments that people have written below my videos. So you are not alone in that thought. But here's the reality. They don't change who they are. They don't. They might alter their patterns slightly to change and mirror and match each new target, right? but they don't really love. They're not capable of that. They're not capable of empathy, of compassion, of love, and of healthy human emotional attachment. They can really make you think that they've changed, just like when they hoover you and they make you think they've changed, and they put on that behavior and they act all kind and they act all polite and perfect, but it's all a front. It's all a front. And right now what he's doing is he's using the triangulation manipulation, right? So he's got someone new and he brought her in, and now he's pretending, to be this amazing partner to her. But really he's probably just a parasite, the psychopath parasite who's sucking dry the resources of every person. He's already moved in with her, right? So she took him in, she's taking care of him. He's got a new host now. That's what happened. And he's manufacturing jealousy to control your emotions and behavior, right? Because if he can manufacture that jealousy, then he can control your emotion if you allow him to. And if he can control your emotion through fear, through hatred, through resentments, through all of that, then he can control how you're going to react to that. So you want to become more conscious of how you're allowing him to make you feel. And that's an emotional boundary. Like, there are physical boundaries around space. There are mental boundaries around ideas, doubts, thoughts, opinions. And then there are emotional boundaries around feelings and emotions. A person could try to force you to feel fear, like the fear propaganda on the mainstream news, for example. They try to get you to feel this fear, because if they can control your emotion with fear, they know that fear will cause a human being to do just about anything. They will give away all their civil rights. They will surrender everything under the name of fear. They know they can direct the behavior of people through that. Same thing that abusive people do. They can cause you to be afraid. Even when you were with him, did he try to make you feel afraid that you could never do it on your own, that no one else would ever love you, that you weren't worthy of anything else? And that fear holds you back when you hold on to that fear, right? It changes your behavior. It stops you from doing the things and taking the actions that you want to take in life. So recognize that if you're allowing him to make you feel a certain way, that means you need new emotional boundaries there. You're not going to allow him to let you feel that way. You're not. And, he went out and picked up his next target because he doesn't care about her. He just wants to hurt you because you rejected him. So now he's parading around his new supply to overcompensate for the narcissistic injury, right? They get a narcissistic injury if you don't give them everything they want, if you don't submit to the abuse and be that perfectly silent and subservient target. They get upset. So they have to retaliate. They have to punish you because they can't deal with their own feelings of rejection or shame. They have to externalize that and punish and hurt someone else. He doesn't care about her. She's just serving the purpose. She's a pawn. First of all, she's his new host. He gets to suck her dry now, which is what he's doing. He's sucking her dry financially. He moved into her space. Now he's bringing your kids in there. And that's very unfortunate that your kids are in the middle of this, and I'm very, very sorry that that's the case. I would encourage you to document everything. Document everything, even if you're like, oh, that just doesn't seem all that important right now. Document it all in the same place. Keep a notebook or some kind of file, on your computer or something, or some kind of note thing on your phone. As soon as something comes up, you write it down. You might need that in the future for custody, for family court, if anything crazy happens over there, and hopefully it's not. Hopefully he's just getting this woman to help out and that sort of thing. And for whatever reason, your kids are there right now. Something that they're learning may be part of their own soul contract, and that's just what's happening. And I would encourage you to have a very open dialogue with your kids. Be very cautious in the way that you approach it, because if you approach it in a way that the only thing acceptable are opinions that are against your father, then it might stop them from expressing spontaneously their authentic feelings. And you don't want to do that, because they've already been through enough of that with their father, that it's really important for the other parent to maintain that open communication and support and non-judgment with the kids. They may not see it yet, but they will someday. They will someday. And you want to be an anchor, a beacon, a grounded point where they can come and they can talk to you about things. And the more you work on yourself and the more you heal yourself, the more you'll be able to help them. You'll be able to open the path, to shine the light so they can get out of the darkness and come into the light as well. And I'm really, really sorry that you're going through this. I know what this is. I mean, just to be really honest, like 1 year ago right now, when I say this, I want to be really clear. Like, I'm not telling you this like I'm holier than thou, and I never felt that same way, because 1 year ago right now, that was consuming me. I had come back from Peru, I guess almost 2 months before this, a year ago right now. And 2 months later, I hit the total crash at the end of October, beginning of November. Right around now, I was just starting to come out of that. And it was consuming my whole day. The first thought in the morning was my former business partner, the sociopath in Peru, who used and abused me to invest all of my time and energy creating this business and then working 12-hour days when we open. And then he took it all away from me. I gave him everything, the website, everything I had created, and he was supposed to pay me. He signed a legal contract saying that he was going to pay me. And instead, I walked away from there with $0. He never paid me. He just kept lying and holding it like a carrot stick and never sent it to me, even though we had this contract. And I just couldn't even believe it. I was so angry. I just wished all these horrible things on him. And that was just making me feel worse. I was waking up every day. That was the first thought in my mind. It was the last thought in my mind before I fell asleep. I would think about it constantly during the day. It was consuming my life. Nothing was getting better. I wasn't really moving forward until the day, and it was probably right around Christmas holiday or so, that I finally just said, like, just let it go. He's never going to pay you. He never intended to. It was set up like that all the way. This guy, he's never going to make it right to you, honey. Never. And you're just holding yourself back. You're doing the same thing I was doing to myself a year ago. It's just you're holding yourself back with your thoughts and your emotions and then the behavior and the actions that you're taking as a result of those thoughts and emotions. So if you want to move forward, I encourage you to work on that. Work on letting that go. Work on facing your own self-healing. Focus your energy, your attention, your awareness on your healing. On your healing and on creating a healing environment for your children when they're with you, and on moving forward with your life, because nothing good is going to come from wishing revenge on another person. Someday the karma will come back to him. Sometimes the karma is instantaneous. If any of you have ever seen one of those situations, it can be so satisfying. Like, I won't lie, that can be really satisfying to see. But the reality is it doesn't usually happen immediately like that. And it might be that you never see the karma go back. It will, but it might be that you're not there. The universe didn't orchestrate it such that you had a window or a perspective of that as it was happening. But they're living with that every day. They're eating their karma of their actions every day, and that will come back to them at some point. You can count on that. That's the way the universe works. It's not about punishing. That's the thing. It's really important to recognize that it's not about punishing, and it's not personal. It's vibrational resonance. What you put out, you get back. What he's putting out, he's going to get back. He will, right? But you're not going to help things if you keep putting out more desires for revenge, more hatred towards him. It's just going to eat you alive. So I know this is really hard, but use this time now to empower yourself, to let go of those resentments, to trust that justice will prevail in this universe. Karma will prevail in this universe, even if you never see it. And all of that is out of your control. Trying to control that will only remind you how helpless and powerless you already feel. So the antidote to that is to take 100% responsibility for your life choices nowadays. This is not blame. This is not fault. This is you taking the reins of your destiny in your hand and saying, I'm not going to allow you to make me feel like that anymore. I'm done with that. I choose me. I choose my well-being, I choose my health and sanity, and I'm moving forward with life. That's the choice of freedom. That's what's going to help you move forward. And I know it's hard. I know it's not easy, so have patience. with yourself. And I'm sending you a big hug.